Remember, Marty, the future is what you make of it. That is what Doc Brown told Marty right there during Back to the Future 3. That's right, we're right now in Oxnard, California at the filming location for Back to the Future 3. So right here, actually, is where the steam train comes in. It comes in down from this direction. There was I think some sort of bridge down there that they CGI'd in. But it comes down right here and it stops right about here. And there's a hill right here that Marty kind of flops down on. And we know it's right here because we can see that wall right there in the background, that white wall. And Doc Brown is here with his kids and Clara, the steam train. And unfortunately, this area has changed a lot. So while we still have this intersection, we still have this beautiful train track. This train track actually isn't really operational. In fact, the train track that was so visible in the movie, the wood, has since been covered up, but thank goodness it's still here a little bit. So that's what we're doing today. We are going to go all around Southern California. It took me about an hour and a half just to get here because I'm so excited for this and for all the other locations. Okay, this is so cool. I just noticed that Snapchat actually refers to this location as a geofence on this location as Eastwood Ravine, which is what it is in the movie, which is so, so, so cool. But anyway, we are going to leave Eastwood Ravine and go somewhere pretty cool. So I just want to kind of talk through as I'm driving the craziness of that location. At the end of Back to the Future 3, Marty McFly and his girlfriend return back to Hill Valley, and they end on train tracks, and all of a sudden the DeLorean, it's out of battery because the McFusion wasn't working or whatever it is. They start hearing a train coming. They barely have enough time to jump out of the way on the train tracks before the train comes and smashes the DeLorean to bits. Marty is really upset now because of the dock, which he now knows he can't go and help get out of the year 1885. And then all of a sudden, the gates that we saw, the gates start lowering. And Marty's girlfriend asks, Marty, do you see a train? And he said, no, I don't. And all of a sudden, the steam-powered locomotive time-traveling machine comes through, and Doc Brown exits with his 3 kids, Copernicus, Jules, and Vern, and Clara. And he says, we've been doing fine, Marty. Do not worry about us. Everything is fine. Marty looks at the photo of the tombstone that was in Back to the Future 3. And it's empty. He said, the tombstone's gone. What does that mean, Doc? And he says, the future is a blank page. The future is what we make of it. It hasn't been written yet. And all of that happens at that one location. It's so significant to the movies, and it really just has a beautiful message and a beautiful way to close out arguably one of the, if not the greatest trilogy in cinema history. Okay, so where are we now? We're actually in Pasadena, not too far from where we filmed the Parks and Recreation filming locations video. You can check that out on the channel. It was posted just a couple weeks ago. And we are going to go to a really interesting location. Great Scott, Marty. Yeah, that's right. We went there. Here we are at the Gamble House, which is actually Doc Brown's house in the Back to the Future series. This is actually owned by the city of Pasadena. It's a famous house. There's a bookstore that's attached to it, and because the interior of this building is so delicate and so ornate, they actually didn't allow filming inside. So they actually went to another house in Pasadena to film the inside. But this is where Doc Brown lives in the Back to the Future series. Here is the garage off to the side. This is the bookstore. It is not a garage. There's some homes next door. Turning this way, this is it. This is the shot that we see in the movie. One day I would love to just go inside and see what it really looks like inside. Obviously, it's not really Doc Brown's home. They filmed somewhere else. This is a public a public place that is owned by the city of Pasadena, so it is very cool that we can go visit. So I feel like I wouldn't be doing him proud if I didn't stand here and say, "Great Scott!" The Gamble House. Built in 1908, David B. Gamble House is a tribute to the genius of architects Charles Sumner Green and Henry Mather Green. Its design represents a unique California lifestyle and is a masterpiece of the American craftsmanship. In 1966, it was made a gift by the Gamble family to the city of Pasadena in a joint agreement with the University of Southern California. California Registered Historical Landmark 871. So, where are we going next? Well, that's the question. It actually is only about 25-ish minutes away, and we are going somewhere that really should be about 2 minutes away from Doc Brown's house. We're out for a pleasant walk here in Hill Valley in the year 1985. Wait, 1985? What? Yeah, that's right. Right here, this street, this intersection is actually the entrance of Hill Valley in the Back to the Future series. So they placed the Lion Estate signs right there and right there, and this was the street that they drove down. This was the entrance, and Marty McFly supposedly lived on the street. He actually lives a couple streets down, but that's all done through cinema magic. But this was the entrance of Lion Estates, and we know that this is it. Because all of this sites online say it is, but also because we know these two trees, which were here in the movie. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I'm a little bit uncomfortable filming someone's house, I'm kind of going to do a drive-by. You might notice these huge steel cables as being behind Marty's house. Now, Doc Brown did drive down this street. This is where the DeLorean took off at the end of the first movie. So the street is very famous. It's Rosendale Avenue. This is it. This is Marty McFly's house from Back to the Future. This is it. Marty McFly lived right here. You can see the steel wires behind. This is pretty cool. This is a Back to the Future filming location. This is it. Marty McFly's house. So that was really cool getting to see. We saw so far Doc Brown's house, we saw Marty McFly's house, we saw where the DeLorean was crashed and where the trilogy ended. We saw the entrance to Lion Estates. Now, Hill Valley itself is technically in Los Angeles, and it's technically about 5 minutes from where I am now, but it is not a physical location. It's actually the Universal Studios Hollywood backlot. And I would 100% be including that in this video if the parks were open, which unfortunately they are not. Okay, so right in front of us is Universal Studios Hollywood. Up on that hill in just a second, you'll be able to see the Minion from Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem, and the castle from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which is really exciting. But more importantly, on the backlot, this is where they filmed the Back to the Future series. It's all right there, all right in front of us. Unfortunately, not able to visit today. Okay, here we are at another filming location. So this is the Hollywood Methodist Church. And you might be thinking, well, Jake, there's no church scene in Back to the Future. And yes, you're right. But this doubles for the high school in Back to the Future. And not just that, but this is the location where they had the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. Yeah, that's right. Inside this church is where Marty McFly, he played Johnny Be Good. It is where Marty McFly's parents kissed for the first time and the future finally set itself right. So where are we? Just to give you some semblance of where we are. This is Highland. Hollywood Boulevard is right there at that green spire. Hollywood and Highland, the shopping mall, is right behind here, which is the Lowe's Hotel. The Dolby Theater, where they have the Oscars, is that building right there, and right behind that is the Chinese Theater. So this is kind of central Hollywood. Okay, so can you tell where we are? Well, I'll let you know. Right up there, there used to be a sign, well, during the filming of Back to the Future, that said Twin Pines Mall, or it said Lone Pine Mall. And it was about Well, right where my car is, where Doc Brown parked his fairly large van, which had the DeLorean inside of it. And we saw this in the background. Inside the mall, they actually do have the sign that says Lone Pine Mall. This is actually the Puente Hills Mall. And it was right here where Doc Brown was shot and killed. So obviously a lot has changed since they filmed the movie. But this was still the entrance that the Libyans came down. Not politically correct to say that now. And they came down this ramp. Doc Brown, like I said, his van was parked right about here. It's hard to tell exactly where he was because the parking lot spaces have been repainted. They used to be straight lines and now they're diagonal. But what's actually interesting is these lampposts have not changed. These lampposts were here during the filming of the movie. Right down here was where Marty stumbled down the hill, and it was going in this direction where Marty was able to go 88 miles an hour and go right to the past. Now, a lot of things have changed to this mall and to this surrounding area. So a lot of stores have popped up. Since they filmed, they've added over there. There's a Chick-fil-A and a Starbucks and a bunch of other things. But what's really nice is the front of this mall has not changed. Even that red color was there when they filmed the movie. Let's see if you bastards can do 90. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm gonna do it. I'm going to drive the path that Marty McFly drove, and since there's no cars, I can do it. And I'm going to go through this parking lot the same way Marty did, not at 90 miles an hour, but I'm gonna go right here, and if all goes well, I should end up in the past. Let's see. Oh wow, we made it. We made it to the past. This is crazy. Okay, now let's try and figure out where we are. I know we're at our final filming location, but I need to figure out where to go. Where are we? Let's make a right here, see if it looks familiar. Whittier High School. What is that? Maybe we can drive around, see if we can find anywhere familiar. Looks to me like this is just another high school. Here's a gymnasium. Wait, could it be? Yeah, wait, this is the high school from Back to the Future. We're in Hill Valley. No way! Does this look familiar at all? To me, I can't really, I don't really know where we are. So I'm gonna try and maybe I'll park off to the side here. Okay, so just as some reference, I'm on the corner of Lindley Avenue and Philadelphia Street here in Whittier, California. This is it. Right there is the entrance. We'll try and walk a little bit closer. It's a very classic-looking high school. The building you will probably know from Back to the Future is actually the administration building, which is right up here for Whittier High School. At the top, they actually replaced the words for Whittier Union High School with Hill Valley High School, and there's some scenes shot right down there, and then right here with Marty McFly walking into that building, which is pretty exciting. So here we are, live at Whittier High School or Hill Valley High School, and I just want to thank you guys for joining me. This has been a really fun, exciting video, getting to go all around up to Oxnard. We went to Whittier, we went to Van Nuys, we went all over, everywhere. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.